So they give you the reasons. Let's say they want to keep their house. I always want to make it known right now, I want to keep my home. What do you say to that?
Well, and like I said before, sometimes you're able to help them. You know, I mean, you know, we've done the forbearance. One of them actually did a remodification. So sometimes we can help them with that. You know, a lot of times you, again, guide them. You don't tell them, you guide them as far as, okay, you know what, let's talk about your situation, because honestly, I see you're only 2 months behind. How did you get 2 months behind? And the one gentleman that I spoke with, actually, he said, you know, I got 2 months behind because my wife lost her job. But since then, she's regained employment. And I said, okay, is she at a similar salary or above? And he said, actually, you know what? She's above. And I said, great. So let me ask you something. A lot of times on a forbearance, they'll give you 6 months to 2 years, depending on the bank, depending on the situation, to catch up your mortgage. Do you think that is something you might be able to do? And this gentleman actually said, he's like, yeah, that's an option for me. And I said, it might be. Let's call the bank. So, you know, he got his mortgage statement out, and he's like, okay, where do we call? And, you know, I did a three-way with him, and we worked out for 2 years that, I mean, $100 a month, and he was able to keep his house. And then after that 2 years, he was able to maintain and go back to his other payment. Yeah. So how powerful is that? That is so powerful. Did I get a commission? No, but by heaven, he is going to ring praises my way, tell everybody about, oh my gosh, look what she was able to do for me. She's the best agent in the country. You know, so you produce those raving fans, and you know, and you did the right thing. You know, more importantly, you did the right thing.
Yeah, you're serving. When what you send out always comes back. You know, my mom used to always say, you send, oh man, I'm going to slaughter this. You send your bread out. You send your bread. The vision I always had was sending the bread out on the water, or whatever. So it always comes back to you better. So it always comes back to us better. And the stats that have played out with you have been what the national averages say. You know, you're looking at, if someone's 60 days behind, you're looking at about 90 to 95% of them only are able to keep. 9 out of 10 then are going to have to short sell. So you think about the amount of appointments you've been on, and the ones, and almost every one of them, out of the, you've been on 8, you've had 8 listings, and you've helped save someone, 2 people from their house. Okay, so but in almost every case, it's going to end up in a short sale.
Yes, I mean, you're looking at 20% that we were able to save.
Yep.
You know, but that's, honestly, you've got to also have some connections. You know, a lot of agents don't have the connections to really help them, and that is what part of the staff has here too. You know, is each state has different connections. Every bank, every, you know, the people who actually can make decisions on the other end. Yeah. So if you have some connections, you know, I mean, we all believe in building partnerships. That's why we're here. So you build, you know, relationships with the banks. You build relationships with your title companies, because let me tell you, those people are always going to help you out. You know, I mean, I've been in this business for 2 years. You know, my connections are vast. And I'm thrilled, because there's no way for all of us to have the answers. Okay, let's be honest. You know, I wish I could be an encyclopedia, but I'm not.
Right, exactly.
You know, but one of the things is that when you've built partnerships and you know the people to ask and help and grow, you know, you're going to have more success. You know, you have, in this business, what I've learned is that part of my success is because of the knowledge and the courses I've taken. And, you know, what I had told Jason, you know, during our one interview, I said, I went through all those modules in one day. I literally sat there and just went through module after module after module. And I'm like, okay, so how did they do the next one? How did they, because I'm one of those education people. I want to know all about the program. And, you know, I tend to just jump feet first. Yeah. And, you know, so have that knowledge. I mean, how can someone talk about program HR 3648 if they don't know even how the program works, or they haven't been through the training, or they haven't listened to some of the agents on there. I can't tell you how many times I've gone back and I've hit that play button and said, okay, so what worked for them?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when you were on stage and you had said, you know, about the questions and the knowledge and the power that you gained from that, you know, those homeowners are looking for someone to take control because they feel like they're out of control.
Yeah, and it's transparent to them when they're talking to someone that doesn't have the knowledge or expertise. You know, that's one thing that impressed me about you, is that on the first day you signed up, you went through all the modules that are contained, which means you were just drinking from a fire hose. But look at the result. That is so, you know, you can't wing it. You can't just go out there, you know, half-cocked and think that you're going to be able to go out there and just, you know, light the world on fire in this area. You have to spend time to get yourself, and that's in any industry. Those people who excel and exceed are those that continually educate themselves, and they're humble enough to realize that they don't have all the answers. They still have plenty to learn, and they're anxious to actually learn it. And, you know, I'll tell people all the time, yeah, I have 10 years doing short sales. I started back in short sales when, you know, no one had ever really heard of short sales. That doesn't make me have all the answers, but what it does give me is 10 years of experience.
Right.
In doing hundreds of them. And that 10 years of experience and the education that comes with it is priceless. And one of the things that I've learned is that I can't stop learning. If I'm going to keep going forward, I have to continue to learn. And that's, you know, education is just really important. I'm glad you brought that up and underscored that.